Run with. Hello guys, this is James, and I'm going to talk to you. Summer's coming up. There's been a lot of controversy, so we're going to just flat out talk about today, shirt on, shirt off, modesty, immodesty. Now, I asked God about this. The Bible says, let your moderation be known of all men. The Lord is at hand. I asked him because people have been telling their kids, you know, it's not appropriate for a boy to have his shirt off. And if it's summer weather, if he's home comfortable, you know, hanging out with his friends, whatever. I asked God about it. And the camera fell. But I'm not going to stop the camera. We're going to keep going. I asked God about it. And so we're going to answer this question today. And basically all God told me very simply was, it's not what you wear, it's why you wear it. Modesty is not what you're wearing, it's why you're wearing it. Listen, first of all, you know, and this applies to boys and girls. What's the purpose? What's the reason behind them wearing it? Boys, no shirts. Hey, summer weather. Hey, if it's warm outside, if it's hot outside, you know, you're doing lawn, you're outside, you're hanging out with your friends, you're just relaxing. It's more comfortable. Come on, you know, less laundry, your body's aired out, you know, too. Actually, you don't stink as much, too, because it seems like a lot of shirts. But you got Under Armour for that, you know. But, you know, if you're at home, on your property, relaxing, you know, amongst family, friends, you know, neighbors who know you, you're relaxing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it because the purpose behind it is relaxing. If the boy, you know, sleeps without a shirt on, you know, he's hanging around the house in the morning, at night, he's at home in his domicile, he's just relaxing. If that's the purpose behind it, which is why you need to ask the Lord. Boys, girls, parents, you need to ask God, because God will tell you if he's just more comfortable, don't worry about it. If that's just it, he's just more comfortable, it's just, you know, it's more relaxing, works out with his shirt off, runs, you know, does his jog with his shirt off. There's nothing wrong with that. Shirt is not an issue if the purpose behind it, he's not, you know, it's just more comfortable, it's hot, whatever. He grew up like that. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing gross. There's nothing disgusting. Parents, if you let your child as a little kid go up with their shirt off and then, you know, they turn 12, 14, and all of a sudden you don't want them to do it, well, you should ask the Lord to begin with, because now if your son's 16 and he still has his shirt off at his house, now you're like, oh, I don't want him walking around like that. You know, he should go, no, there's nothing wrong with it. But you should ask the Lord in the first place how to dress your kid. Because if you ask the Lord, he'll tell you. If you don't ask the Lord, you'll just do whatever. Because some people, you know, do things, let their children dress inappropriately. Some parents dress inappropriately around their children. So it's the purpose behind it, more comfortable, that's fine. I'm talking about their shirt off. I'm not talking about walking around, you know, okay. But, you know, if it's relaxing, whatever, that. While I'm at it, parents, ask God what they should wear if someone visits or whatever. It is their house. It is their home. And if you know, you need to ask the Lord about that so you can direct and whatnot. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Goes for girls and boys. If the purpose behind it is lust, this is why you need to ask God, especially if you think it's more comfortable with your shirt off. You need to ask God and get his thoughts on it. If it's lust, if the purpose behind it is lust in your child wants to start going around with his shirt off because, you know, all his boys does it and he thinks it's cool, that's not a, you know, more comfortable thing. There's a different reason. There's pressure. All the friends think it's cool, you know. While I'm at it, you know, teachers, you don't have any business forcing a kid to go with their shirt off. Shirts and skins, no, we got Under Armour for that now. Okay? Find the ones who are comfortable. Tell the kids you don't have any business. Hey, teacher, schools, you have no business saying bare chest requirement for kids any age. You don't have any business that. You're not their kids. You're not the parents. So you don't have, you know, oh, I just teaches them support. No, forget that. That's wrong. You have a wrong purpose. Your job is to teach them physical education, and we got Under Armour equipment now and shirts now. So, you know, I mean, that's just trash because it's the purpose behind it. If your purpose behind telling them to go shirts and skins is for some perverted, demented reason, you know, oh, it makes them, you know, feel more, they get more body conscious. Well, you're a physical education director. You're not someone there for this sociological thing, because I'm going to tell you that if their kid's not comfortable, if he's not comfortable without his shirt on, then you don't really have any business making him do it, because he'll just have his shirt off for 12 years in school, and then after he gets home, he's just, you know, he's going to wear one for the rest of his life. And you accomplished absolutely nothing because you are out of your purview. You're just a gym teacher. You're just a school teacher or a counselor. You're not the parents. So stay out of that realm. Okay? Let them know if it's comfortable, that's not a problem. But you don't require it. I just had to throw that in there. But if it's a wrong reason, if the boy is walking around with his shirt off because he's got a perverted little girlfriend who watches videos of people who have their shirts off and she's in lust, and she's like, you should take pictures with your shirt off and post it on the Instagram and, well, social profiling and stuff like that to do that. Now, people do that. If it's for lust and he's doing it because of her, she's trying to get something, then the reasoning is wrong. And you don't want your kid to walk around with his shirt off if he's doing it because of that. He's doing it because it sexually arouses him. Come on, you don't need to do that. That's inappropriate because it's the flesh, it's lust, it causes problems, and you don't need to do that. So why is your son, why would you? Hey, some people take a picture because that's just what they're wearing at that particular time. They don't wear a shirt most of the time during the summer or whatever, hardly ever, whatever. And so they just take a picture and they post it, yay, good morning, whatever, to their friends. It's nothing to them. You know, football practice, baseball, who cares? It's nothing to them. But if they're doing it because on their social profile, their video sharing network or their photo sharing network, you know, whatever, they get all these, oh, I love you, oh, number 10, oh, hot, sexy, oh, blah, 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 blah. You know, stuff like that. Baby, I love you, I love you, I love you. Now that's a problem because they're not doing it because they're comfortable. They're doing it to get that response from people. This happens in the motion picture and music industry and other industries, advertising too. They will use flesh for lustful purposes to get people to do things, and you don't need to do that. See, then you don't allow your kid to take a picture with his shirt off. You don't allow him to walk around with his shirt off because the purpose behind it, the reason why he wants to sleep with his shirt off is because, one, all the boys say it's cool, and if you're not manly. That's a lie. Or two, you know, he's got a little girlfriend that you didn't ask God which one to get him anyway. So she starts all of a sudden, oh, why don't you sleep with your shirt off? Why don't you send me goodnight pictures with your shirt off? Take a picture in your boxers. How do you think kids get in trouble? Because you just let him get with this girl who's watching videos of someone who always takes off their clothes. But the reason why they're taking off their clothes is because, I mean, come on, hello. An artist performing or a motion picture, the people know what they're wearing. So if they're taking it off, and if you see an actor or a musician after a concert, they take off their shirt after the thing, that's not a problem, you know, they're just hot. But if they're taking it off because it gets a from the girls, then their purpose, their reasoning behind is wrong. Modesty is not what you wear, it's why you're wearing it. Now, as far as girls are concerned, yeah, there's some stuff that just flat out, you don't need to wear. In fact, because it's designed for. See, if the purpose of the design is to show off the girl's behind, you know, if the purpose of the thing is to do something for lustful purposes, then, you know, that's the only reason why they would buy it. If that's why they bought the skirt. Hello? And if it's based off lust, which is pressure too, to get short skirts and junk like that, then that means they're not getting the thing because they desire it. They're not getting it because it's more comfortable. They're getting it because it's a fad and all the girls wear it. Guys, that's true. Your life is not based off of what you're wearing. Your life needs to be based off the Word of God and what He tells you to do. Okay? Someone likes to exercise with their shirt off. That's not a problem. It's not immoral. It's not immodest. But if someone's buying things or they're doing it, exercising with their shirt off at the gym so the girls can see it, then they have a different purpose behind it. It's a lustful purpose. And that's why motion pictures and television and certain things in advertising utilize that lust of the flesh to get it, and that's their purpose behind it. You can usually tell in a motion picture if it's normal or if it's lust. Because if it's lust, there's really no purpose for it being in the thing. I mean, at all. They put a washing scene in there just so the dude can have his shirt off. Hello? Hello? You know, they did, the person's doing a concert just so they can, rip off his shirt. And the girls go, I mean, or there's a clothing company, and half the people, no matter where it's, you know, it's fall, everywhere is long sleeves, but the boys have their shirts open. And it's like, come on, because they're utilizing lust and flesh to do it, as opposed to just some kids hanging out at the beach. You know, there's a purpose behind it. If you're selling winter clothes, people should be wearing clothes. But you know, you see that's the difference behind modesty and immodesty. It's what's behind it. What's the purpose of it? Why does your kid want to sleep without a shirt? Why does your kid want to go outside and play like that or whatnot? And you need to go ahead and get the thing, and that's why you need to contact and talk with the King God of Heaven about it and get an answer. Don't let someone say, oh, boys, you know, boys should always wear shirts when they cut the lawn. Well, you need to ask the Lord about that, okay? And you need to stop listening to people. We'll talk about that in a second. But you need to find out the reason behind it and ask God and get his answer. Because too many people, oh, I just didn't grow up with that. Oh, that's gross, the boy has a shirt. Well, he's a boy and you're a girl. Girls don't need to be running around with their shirts off because they have a bosom. Read the Bible. I mean, there's a reason for it. You know, you're anatomically different. So you don't have any business trying to act, you know, go against the word of God and say, well, if boys can do it, girls can do it. No. Parents, if you got 3 boys and 2 girls and the boys sleep with their shirts off, that's fine. Hello, the end. But the girls wear clothes and you explain to them why. Hello, the end. You know, they got jog bras and other things like that the girls can practice in and stuff and be cool, but they are different. And you don't need that. You don't need to put pressure on somebody because of it. Another thing, one of the final things is the reasoning behind who's saying it. If they have a problem with lust, if they're thinking about lust, then you do have a problem. Because if the mom is thinking, she's not consulted God, she's just thinking, oh, he's not wearing a shirt, oh, he's doing it, you know, because he's just inconsiderate and he's whatnot. Well, I mean, he's 12 or 16. He's just being inconsiderate. He's just trying to show off his body. Well, if the person who's looking at that is making that particular judgment on this person, they're saying what this person is thinking, which is really, you don't have any business doing that without God telling you. That's why you need to ask the Lord. He might be doing it. Then you need to tell him to put on a shirt and leave it on. Or you need to talk to him about it. Because some people, they think that it's cool, and you talk with them and they can't contact God, and God might tell them to leave it on. So he might tell them to leave it off. You have to do that with God. But if you got a person, a girl, you know, on the team is like, oh, that's gross and disgusting, and I don't, you know, then what's her issue? You need to find out. You know, if she's uncomfortable about it, then you need to ask the Lord what to do about it. So, you know, she needs to consult the Lord about it. I mean, come on. She's not their sister. She's not their parent. But also, if it is, say, someone who's like, oh, that's just being immodest, and the boys, well, boys are boys. You know, men's muscles develop. You know, usually have a more muscle tone than women in general because of the way God made them. But you know, but don't do that just because the kids are having fun, the boys have their shirts off. I'm still letting you know this is a serious issue, because if you got someone who is perceiving what they're doing is wrong, then they'll put pressure on the boys that is inappropriate and wrong when there's not really an issue with it. I'm not talking about being stupid. Like I said, you know, there are places where you don't need to run around with your shirt off at. You know, come on. But see, it's the purpose behind it. A fully air-conditioned mall is not a place to walk around with your shirt open or shirt off, you know, just so people can see you. See, if it's just so people can see you, you know, then you have a problem with it. See, you're doing it for the wrong reason, okay? So that's the issue. You know, gyms, you know, the gyms boys are practicing gymnastics, whatnot. There's an issue. Now listen, it's really true, because if you got people who are looking on the situation and they have a problem, then they will, then, you know, they need to ask the Lord about it, you know. But if they see it as a lustful thing, maybe because one too many TV shows. Hey, listen, there's been stuff on TV, musicians who should have known better, not doing it. You know, they're showing up places without a shirt that they have no business doing. I mean, come on. Let's say, you know, no one's done this, but let's say everyone goes to a formal dinner. A formal dinner where they're serving chicken and roast beef and turkey, and they're passing out the Greatest Human of the Year award, you know, or maybe I say Christian of the Year award, but the person shows up without a shirt, or he shows up with his top is see-through. Well, he's doing it for publicity, but if you see that, and people see people doing wrong, movies where the people have their shirts off solely for sexual, lustful purposes, then people can interpret that as the only reason why someone would take off their shirt is to show off. And that is not true. And that is where the problem comes. And when you don't know someone's heart, so you need to ask the Lord, parents, teachers, you need to ask God the issue behind it. Camp counselors before, hey man, you don't just play around with this. There are some kids who are doing it because it's more comfortable. Some people are doing it because it's lust. Some girls are buying, you know, stuff because it's more comfortable. They like shorter shorts. Some girls do it. You can tell when the girl's just wearing it to wear it. You also can tell when there's a girl wearing it, usually because behind lust. So that's why you have to know. So I want to encourage you, there is a differentiation between it. So make sure you ask God about it before you start, you know, passing laws and not passing laws, but start doing stuff, because there are reasons why people do it. And so modesty is not what you wear, it's why you're wearing it. So you need to find out. So what I'm telling you is ask God, parents, boys, girls, ask God about what to get for gym class. Ask God if it's okay to take off your shirt during basketball practice. Coaches, ask God what you should do about shirts versus skins, who to put on what team and why. You need to ask the Lord about it before you get on your blog and start talking about modesty. Okay? You need to go ahead and do it. And you need to get with God, because you can actually cause problems by imposing rules and restrictions on somebody that God didn't ordain. Or conversely, if the boy is not a boy that finds wearing no shirt comfortable or regular, you don't impose that on them either. That's why I'm telling you, you need to ask God, because people have different temperaments. There are some boys who don't care for it, and they don't want to do it. So as a parent, a teacher, a coach, you don't have any business making them do it. They have no problem. There's nothing wrong with them. You know, they're at a, basketball practice, and they keep their shirt on the whole practice. They don't take it off. There's nothing wrong. See, that is not a problem, because it's not an issue to them. Their parents don't do it, their family doesn't, whatever. But some people, they are more comfortable. So one son might wear it all the time, one son might not wear one all the time. But the issue is you need to ask the Lord. And I want to encourage you this, producers and directors, don't play that game. We're in the motion picture industry and music industry, so that means you know what you're wearing and you know what you're putting it up there for. If it's for sex appeal, it's really just lust appeal. That's all. You're catered to someone's flesh, trying to get people to look at the thing. And a lot of motion pictures and stories don't even require that. I mean, there's no motion picture or story I've ever heard of that required to show two people in bed fornicating, committing adultery. If it's not like a swimming movie or something like that, I guess a night pajama scene, they're at home, they're sleeping. Hey, there might, I guess if you do a summer movie, but in all actuality, on the motion pictures, in music, you really don't have to do it. There's not really a reason you're not, unless you're doing fitness or something like that, there's not actually a reason for you as a motion picture or music video producer to do it, unless you're doing it on purpose for lust. Because the girls are going to go wild, and guys, no one likes that. Because they're doing it not because they're more comfortable. They're doing it to get an illicit, sexual, lustful response from the audience, which, So, parents, don't stifle your child. People don't stifle boys if they're more comfortable. There are places to and not, like I said. I mean, come on. Don't go to Red Lobster. I like Red Lobster. Don't go to Red Lobster without a shirt. That's stupid. I mean, if it's not on a store, it's not on a beachfront out eating thing, you know, like that. You know, if it's a formal restaurant, you know what to wear. Come on, guys. And that's the only reason why people do stupid stuff like that is because they want to get attention. And some people do it, I guess, for publicity. Not I guess. Some people do it probably for publicity. You know, drive up them inside the news, and then boom, they release an album or whatever, something stupid like that. Or, you know, they try to get the girls in the theater so the boys don't have their shirts on. You know, there's a purpose behind it if it's lust. So I want to encourage you, ask God. Really. Just ask him and he'll give you the answer, because he's the only one who can give you the answer, because each person is different. While I'm at it, I'll just end with this. Even for clothing, guys, you need to ask God what to wear, what you like wearing best. If you like, you know, khakis and dockers, and you like polo shirts and stuff like that, business casual, you need to be wearing that. Parents, you need to ask God what to dress your kids. Don't just dress your kids the way you want them to dress. Oh, you know, you dress a certain way, so you just buy them. You need to consult with God, because some kids prefer business casual for school. I know it. I was at a college. I knew people who wore business casual to college. Why? You know, just regular college classes, because that was their temperament. So you need to ask the Lord what to wear. You need to ask God what you like too, because sometimes this is going, but I'm seriously, sometimes people really do not ask God, and they see something on TV and they want to get those sunglasses, but the only reason why they want to get it is because it's pressure to get it, but it's not a real desire of their heart. So guys, parents, get with God for what to buy, what to wear. He'll show you your favorite color. He'll show you the favorite things that you like to do, that you like to wear. Like for instance, I don't know if you can see it, I like Speedo clothing. I like their, what's the name there? High quality. But God had to lead me to Speedo, because for some reason, it just wasn't like in the normal stores I went to. But I do like their stuff, and they really do a good job. But anyways, I love you. Thanks for joining me. Blessed name, live in the Lord Jesus Christ. I do have a couple videos. I have updated my exercise regime just this week, so you probably can't see too many gains, because I wasn't exercising much the week before, and Lord have mercy on me. Pray for me, but I love you. Be blessed in the name of the living Lord Jesus Christ. There are pictures after this, and remember, live, move, be.